Yes, I want to share a movie with you guys, 2021, called Curve. So the movie starts with a woman waking up bloodied in a concrete-like structure. We later see a scene of terrifying waves that echoes through the place where the woman was, causing the woman to wake up through the echoes of the place. So eventually, the woman woke up slowly, started looking around, not knowing what's happening or where she was. And yeah, she seems to be in a dam-like place that is surrounded by walls, a very steep place where she is lying in a very funny position with her right leg under her body. And the bottom of the place is filled with darkness. Holy When the woman saw the hedge, she freaked out in fear, trying to get away from the hedge, but that only caused her to slide towards the edge. She almost fell off, but she didn't. And she seems to be in great pain, while still trying to contemplate the situation. And her hands, the skin of her palm, are scraped off, from trying to pull herself back from falling over the edge. And then we get a clear view of the structure where she was lying, and it seems to be some kind of a hydro plant. She tried to move further away from the edge, but couldn't because of the wall behind her. She started crying, panting, and then she heard a loud sound from below the dark place, and that even made her to be more fearful. She later heard a louder sound, and she looked at the skies in frustration. She tried to figure out the situation again. Then she started having thoughts of survival, at all costs. And she knows that staying where she is, she's eventually gonna die, or if she does the wrong move, she would die also. So she started making some moves towards moving away from the edge slowly. And as she tried that, she slid down and almost fell down into the deep place, but she didn't. She almost did, and that caused even more fear. And she started panting, and she think of moving backwards at the same position where her body is laying slowly. Later on, she looked at her palms, and they are profusely bleeding from the concrete, trying to pull herself back. The concrete has scraped her hands, the skin of her hands, and she tried to wipe off the blood on her hands, on her shirt, so she can have more friction while pulling herself back. But she also felt the pain very badly. As she tried moving again, she slowly put her left foot up to try to pull herself back from the edge using her arms, and it was so painful. And she moved herself a little bit and breathed a little bit. After calming herself a little bit, she wiped her palms again on her clothes, and the palms are almost numb, and she started blowing on her palms, and she started moving backwards. Just did the same position where she was a little, and she started panting again and started having hallucinations, seeing the blood on her palms on the concrete slide. She tried to move again slowly in the same position where she was, and that caused her to almost start sliding downwards due to her trying to use too much haste. She saw hallucinations again, and she tried to pull herself back, and she suddenly heard a noise that made her stop and look, and the blood hallucinations, the hallucinations she is seeing, started getting more intense. She had a thought that if she continues moving that same way, she likely will survive. And she had a very strong will of survival. And with hallucinations, the will to survive, and the thought of her death, she tried to move again at the same position where she was, using the same means, and she slid down a little bit more. And with the progress she has made in moving backwards, her hallucinations started growing more and more. We suddenly hear a screech from the background, and the woman compared the sound to the sound of her death, calling out from the darkness below. She looked at her palms. They are completely destroyed due to the fact that the skin of her palm is completely peeled off, trying to pull back, and they are completely bloodied. All of a sudden, it started raining, and this caused more panic and made the woman think maybe she's about to die even sooner, or maybe something else might happen. And then she leaned back to enjoy the gentle droplets of rainfall on her body for some time. Due to the rainfall, the place where she was lying gets lubricated, and this can cause her to sleep. So she lay down, closed her eyes, biting at it, and started screaming. Just then she remembered she has a chain necklace, and she took it off her neck and wrapped it around her arm in order for that to help her to prevent her from falling into the dark hole. We do not know for sure, due to the end of the movie, if the woman survived the situation. That is unclear. But we know for sure there's only two things that can happen. She either falls down and die, or help can happen, you know. But it's a nice movie. If you love it, like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts, you know. And if there's any movie you want to be recap, let me know.